45 minutes long. Chaos taking it very convincingly there towards the end. And Virtus.pro is looking to tie up the series to force out that third game, because otherwise their road here at the CORSAIr DreamLeague Season 11 ends. We're live from the Monster Energy DreamHack Studios. I'm here with Sir Action Slacks and Admiral Bulldog, and we're in the draft of Game 2 of this best of 3.
That sounded like a Doom.
It did sound like a Doom.
Potentially been a Slardar.
And a Shadow Demon. What?
A Doom and a Shadow Demon? Is that the guess?
That is the guess.
Meatball?
No, it's the Chen. I had some previous information. This Shadow Demon, has Shadow Demon even been picked so far? Not by these two teams, that's for sure.
I think we've seen it a few times, but not a lot, that's for sure.
What is good about Shadow Demon at the moment? Because he has the save.
Yeah.
You can disrupt people that are hit by the Rod of Athos.
Yes, you can.
Counter.
Hard counter to Omni Knight too, by the way. In case they're scared that they might be pulling that bad boy out
That's
again.
probably more likely than the hard counter to the Rod of Athos, sorry.
I mean, it still works though. You're right.
But it's just a good...
They ain't scared. Big ballin' boys.
They just pull it out.
Jeez.
The Banders himself.
The Chaos is the most alpha team I've ever seen.
They thought they had 2 picks there, maybe.
Maybe the Shadow Demon will scare... No! Here I am.
So previous game we had Virtus.pro banning out the Chen and the Nature's Prophet as well as the Oracle, and
10 seconds remaining.
Nature's Prophet is still in the pool because they banned out two of the 5 heroes of Chaos from previous game.
Yeah. Well, I guess they don't care so much about the Prophet. No one can really play it anyway. It's very few players around the world that can actually play the Prophet.
Oh, Solo has played it like twice this tournament.
I just said there's only a few players that can actually play it.
Solo is one of them.
There's a difference between playing and playing it, Cheaper.
Okay.
So, back to the game here. Very interested in Chaos banning out the bear themselves. So we saw all this Omni Knight madness has been on the back of an Ursa, just running in and blowing people up. This time it looks like they have a different idea of how they want to run this Omni Knight Chen stuff. It's interesting.
I think they're maybe just a little scared of having Ursa against Omni in the laning stage. Pretty sure Omni would not be liking that at all.
Yeah, it's a good pick, or a good point. So who's going to replace their giant burst damagey hero? Could we potentially see a Sven coming out here?
I think any early core could do. For example, Juggernaut also an option there. Unfortunately,
just like to run right in and fight.
Yeah.
Which I know you hate it, but Troll is a little bit like that.
Troll is one of them, like that, yes.
It's a little bit of a different situation though if you have a Chen Omni Knight with that Troll. I mean, traditionally people have been sending him almost to the jungle in the mid game to try to get the items he needs. Now he could just run at people, so
true.
Would be a little different. And they're actually going to ban out the Troll as well.
Okay. Well, they did pick up, VP picked up the Doom, because it's kind of good against Chen, so there's no creeps. Although you don't really play Chen like that too much, reliant on the creeps anymore. And, you know, Shadow Demon overall got a few buffs. Like, you can really spam your third spell now, doing a lot of damage in the lane, which is really annoying to deal with. And if you just make sure you do it while you're in fog, you don't give away any stick charges. And you have just the save potential, which we see that Chaos plays so aggressive, having a way to save your heroes. Just buy some time for Doom to come in and clean it up. Could be really useful.
Yes, sir. Oh, we wait to see where this Shadow Demon is going to play a part in Virtus.pro's draft here. As again, we are into reserve time very early so far.
It's pretty rough now. Like, I don't know what carry you would want on Chaos, because you're playing as a Doom, which means you're gonna get Doom most likely. So the only hero that's really good against that is pretty much Wraith King. And then you have Shadow Demon as well, who's, if you're too reliant on movement speed, he's gonna ult you.
Yep. And
you need to have someone who can jump around, someone like PA, but then you're gonna get Doom, and then you're sad. And
you don't want to create too strong illusions of yourselves either.
Yeah. Well, you can just pick 3 strong cores, so Doom can only get 1 of you.
Well, Morphling is still in the pool of the cores that we've seen so far.
That's a scary one. Shadow Demon can take copies of your Morphling.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Weaver indeed still one of them as well. And they pick up the Bat.
The Bat?
Wow.
We saw it banned last game.
Could we get some more single target spells on VP right now? I mean, gee whiz.
Yeah.
There's one person that's going to be very sad that game.
Yeah.
I mean, is that multiple cores can just fix that scenario? It's like just have multiple people that
10 seconds remaining.
can soak that up.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, just
5
having one
seconds
guy that
remaining.
everyone's protecting is just suicide right now with a Bat Rider, Doom, and Shadow Demon. Like, whoever they choose to die is going to die.
Yes.
There's no question. But
Or there's going to be 3 people that are going to walk away with like very low health.
right.
They have the Chen now to heal up. They got double healers right now, which is pretty solid.
Always sick
Very cool.
with that Omni Knight.
The Bat, so again, you need to have a good lane against him. So Life Stealer is probably the best one in the meta right now, which is obviously bad. Weaver is okay against Bat, not the
10
greatest.
seconds remaining.
There's just the PL still, Slark, Jugger,
5 seconds
the more
remaining.
common ones.
Yeah, you know what? I actually I'm usually very scared to pick a PL or suggest it, but in this one with all these single target abilities, if he could get the fight started and have a bunch of illusions,
Don't know who's the real one.
no, you think? How they got it? How they gonna know who's the real one, bro?
How are they going to
They're
know
so
it?
tricky, PL. Or do they-
Actually, Omni Knight can just show him.
well, that's
or he
why you
can
fake
trick
it
him.
out exactly. The classic
Heavenly Grace.
on an illusion.
Team pick.
Brewmaster, some team fight, some... I guess you can cyclone one
Bat.
person, follow the rest.
Yeah. Well, if you Heavenly Grace and you Doom that target, does it dispel the Doom or does it dispel Heavenly Grace or do you just do like a 5-second Doom? I don't remember how it is.
Probably dispel it.
I think Dispel.
10
And I think that
seconds remaining.
Brewmaster can Dispel it too, right?
My God, you're right.
5 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
they got the spells.
My
got the
God.
A
spell.
lot of them.
The answer.
The answer.
Just get Shadow
Nice
Demon
try.
Axe as well.
That's a dispel. That's all it
And
dispels.
break them as well. Omni does nothing.
Good Lord. The counter has
They
been
got 4 Egg Heroes. This guy Alchemist here.
easy out in the jungle.
Yep.
Level 1. Hell yeah. The toil begins.
They need their 2 cores now, which is the struggle here.
Well, we know what they want to have. They want to have somebody that's just going to
Hey.
explode.
Look who's on camera. It's your favorite player, Jake.
T-Governor!
Tree Governor.
Oh,
T-Governor! Follow him on T-Governor on Twitter. I don't know his Twitter.
Let's
This is the
Google
man
it.
right here.
the coach.
Lestrand. So I'm confused. Who's the core?
Lesh.
Is Lesh the core?
I think
Lesh
it's
and Omni Knight.
Chen, that's the core.
Is Chen the core?
Chen is
Disruptor
not the core.
No.
Chen and Disruptor are the 2 supports, I would imagine.
Yeah.
10
And if you have
seconds
Disruptor, that means you want to do a lineup that runs at the enemy. But you look at VP's lineup right now; they're not
5
gonna
seconds
move
remaining.
away if you run at them.
No.
They're gonna fight you right in.
Yeah, whoever runs first dies.
I'm a little bit worried for Chaos at the moment.
Yeah, if Flash has a good lane, he can do a lot of damage with Omni backing him up. But in the last pick now as well, could use some physical damage here, because otherwise a pipe will just destroy Chaos.
Yep. And we have been seeing those high physical damage be Chaos wheelhouse. That's why I'm expecting something like, again,
10
maybe
seconds remaining.
a very sad Core Sven or even a
5
Wraith King. I think it's a
seconds
fine
remaining.
pick still, isn't it?
A good old Wraith King.
You think so?
They're
Wraith
probably
King?
struggle in the lane though.
Sure.
The main issue.
I mean, you got Leshrac and Disruptor, though, and Chen.
Just pull out the Wraith King.
Ah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Ah.
Ah,
The Medusa band comes out last there for Chaos. Let's see what they go for.
The good news is that Lashrak is an excellent Atos carrier, so we're definitely going to
True.
see that again. And I assume we are playing in mid, so he's going to get it ideally pretty early. They played a massive pressure then.
how exciting. Atos carriers.
Yeah. You see VP, they don't really
10
have one.
seconds remaining.
Although you can kind of buy it on anyone.
You can buy it on anyone. We just said how
5
good that item
seconds
is.
Remaining.
Yes.
Buy it in all your
Buy it
pops
on
and
all
all the
heroes.
heroes.
Who's
Win the
playing-
Dota game.
Is it a Doom 4? Brew? Who's Ramses or no one playing here? Is it a Ramses Doom?
What? Why can't Ramses play the last pick?
But then what is no one playing? Is it
Bat
a
Rider?
no one Doom? No one Bat. I'd love to see that.
Shadow Demon mid, bro.
I mean, Ramses has played.
That's a
Doom
gyrocopter, by the way.
What?
Oh, that's an old classic one.
Nani?
Without a wisp, here is a little bit feels weird, but it's worked. It's not a sleeper.
And
Feels
that's a
weird.
morphling.
Yeah, that
Ramses
looks pretty
morph.
good. That looks pretty good.
Ramses morph.
The good news is that Gyro is a hero that runs at you. So that's
Which one can you guys can check who's playing what on the TV table?
Oh,
Which one's no one playing?
No one is going to be on Morphling.
Who is Ramses playing?
Ramses is playing the Shadow Demon. Wow, this is going to be very interesting. Very interesting.
Solo's playing the Shadow.
So, okay.
Don't touch you.
You
It's
guys,
going to be very interesting.
it was, yeah. We've seen Miracle play Shadow Demon before. It wouldn't be a complete surprise. Well, it would be, but, you know. Bulldog, who do you think is going to take the second game?
They got a couple different picks, but they got perfect ATOS. They got Gyro, who's all aggression again with an Omni Knight.
Yeah.
I'm feeling him. And VP, they're wounded. They're wounded right now.
Cheever, can you go this time first?
I think Chaos will take the game.
Just once, I want you two not to pick the Omni Knight so I don't curse my favorite hero. But this game's definitely VP. They got it. There's no way that they could possibly lose this one, I believe, and I'll tell you why after the game.
You don't have to go.
I do!
No, why?
Do you want me to... I go against my boy?
All right, let's find out what's going to happen here in the second game. By the way, don't forget to vote for your MVP. Let's head over to Odie Pixel and Lizard.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, Virtus Pro up against Chaos Esports. This game 2 just about to kick it off, and whatever's going to happen in this one, it's going to be an entertaining one. We've got some picks, some player hero combinations coming out from both sides. It's going to be a lot of fun to see Chaos ending the draft with a gyrocopter. Nobody wants to play this hero. This hero has been dumpstered patch after patch after patch, but Chaos say no, we can make him work.
The only hero that brought back Gyro a few months back was the Wisp, but the Wisp isn't really played right now, as you can't pick him, and Gyro without the Wisp sounds weird, man.
It does. But maybe they know something, Chaos. I mean, they knew something was sort of the Omni Knight. Sure, sort of on paper, people can say, okay, Omni Knight actually sounds pretty damn decent at the moment, but no one else was playing it. But Chaos, you know, they bring it in, they say, let's go. Now they're trying to bring back the Gyro. Will it work? We'll only find out as we get into this one. And yeah, looking at the land of it. Hey, wait, didn't Slack say Ramses was playing the Shadow Demon?
I think he was just messing with us.
Yeah, Slack, he's debating us. He's not around this.
He was debating us. Because
we were like, wait.
I waited to see the screen before I said anything about that.
You don't trust Slack.
Yeah, I didn't trust him because that would make absolutely no sense. And
so yeah, it's a Ramses brew. Yeah, Ramses brew, and but yeah, no Morphling. So not because normally Ramses would be the one to play the morph, but I guess this time they want Ramses to be more the playmaking hero. They want him to get active and involved, so they're putting him on the safe lane brew.
And the Morphling is one of those heroes that can actually have a pretty decent lane on mid versus anything right now, as you don't need mana to switch to morph, right? So the hero is just way too strong right now in the laning stage one-on-one. Versus anything, he works
for sure. And of course, this was back sort of when Gyro was being picked. Morph was like you had to ban Morph. Like, it is that good against him. He will turn into the Gyro, he will steal flak and start punching at your entire team at a bazillion damage with the agility that he has built up.
Misery is getting very low. He has, I mean, 50%, but 5 stacks on him already now. After the 5 stacks, it's not... Yeah, he popped the 5 stacks to go for more now, as it's not really that good to stack more. And that 35 mana and... Oh man, like, you can actually get him if he gets... He's gonna get out of range, maybe.
I think he needs a 4th, doesn't he?
He needs the 4th. Oh, he's got it!
No, okay.
He needed 5th.
I thought he needed 6th.
Nah, the 5th would be enough, because it's exponential, I believe, until then.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Hey, so, I mean, he had to use a lot of mana and popped a mango for that one.
Yeah, so pretty much the same effect. Chen had to go base, but so did Shadow Demon.
Yeah. Well, let's hear. So I'm very excited to see how the gyro is going to work out here for Chaos. Some HFN gyrocopter. That's one of the issues with the hero nowadays is You know, the biggest nerf over time at the start was just.
Oh, is Roger gonna go for this?
I mean,
he's going. This is.
He's gonna die for this though.
Yeah,
he's
but
tanking
this is
tower.
gonna be first blood. He's
and that was so close. That was very close. But yeah, Roger does get first blood, but it does give a kill to HFN. And of course, with Roger getting the first blood, it does mean that HFN is the only one left alive when Roger dies. So he gets the solo experience.
He gets the solo experience, but so did
I guess so did Roger.
Right? And I think Roger, with those early boots or whatever he opts to buy early on in the laning stage, he's gonna be able to provide a lot of pressure. Like he's gonna be able to just zone out King RD here. So in some sense, it's definitely all right for him to get that first blood. It is a first blood after all.
It is.
So.
It is that hefty bonus indeed on the money for getting that kill.
Yep. Roger here.
I mean, you see,
has to be careful.
Level 1 rocket barrage nowadays, it does like 2 damage.
Still a lot of damage being dealt to Roger, and he should be able to survive here.
Maybe like 3 damage. It did a little bit. But yeah, Roger will be able to walk away.
Does have that salvo, pops it. HFN was forced to use all of his sticks to try and kill Bad there, so he's not gonna have those to work with afterwards. And now the Doom has joining top. I think has joined top. I believe they're gonna have a much easier time dealing with the Gyro and Disruptor.
They've got to be careful, especially when the wave is sort of underneath the tower. VP with these two can dive.
They can dive so well as well. You have to take an eye out. You just have to take care that he doesn't get those stacks off on you. If he does, let's see.
Now starting indeed, to get the stacks up on King RD. How are we looking in this mid lane? No one's 18 for 6 at the moment against Weehar's 11 for 0. So no one off to a very nice start here in this mid matchup. I mean, as you say, he takes the Morphling mid. He's going to play the lane well.
Yeah, I mean, you just morph into Agi to get those last hits. Your auto attack animation is also so good that Leshrac cannot really contest you that well. And now they've committed Misery to be mid as well, just to try and mitigate that, to try and perhaps pressure the Morphling a little bit, as he's doing way too well right now. That's very strange. Like a hero that has such huge late game potential is also so very strong in the early game, in the laning stage.
We're going to see up top a bit of an attempt onto HFN, but the King's got the point in the kinetic field to hold back the attempt from Roger with the Firefly. Keeps HFN safe.
Yeah, they're pressuring Gyro, but he's not doing too shabby. He has 14 last hits. It's not like he's being zoned out completely. No,
it's a hard hero to CS within that safe lane, as your right click is just so pathetically low at the beginning of the game that it's any sort of pressure can entirely slow down your farm in the first few minutes. But yeah, HFN's doing just fine. It's Pasha as well.
Yeah, they're just gonna farm under the tower. You can see a huge push here, so Pasha should have a full wave. And this is problematic for observers because of Morphling mid, right? You always
you never know when he's gonna get caught out.
Exactly, and now he did get stunned, but he managed to morph strength before, so it doesn't really matter. Boiling Rage, yeah. As the lane is pushing in. Ramses, however.
Bottom, Tavo. And Misery diving underneath the tower here. Solo will be in just in time to hold back Tavo with a disruption.
Solo has to be careful, though.
Tavo's now just going to turn his attention towards the Shadow Demon instead. They're going to look to chase him down. He's being blocked up by the creeps. Another purification comes through. They do have the collapse slowing him down, but the Mango's popped. Heavenly Grace upon Tavo, allowing to dive in. Solo trying his best to juke through the trees. One more touch will get the kill. Tavo, can he find him? Solo's doing his best to hide. Solo continues to juke, but Tavo will find him. Gets the kill.
At least he did buy some time for Ramses to go and take these bounties. Well, that's it. That's something. But overall, I don't really understand why he ran into the Chun like that. He had very little mana to work with, even if he pops the mangoes. So kind of just gives that kill away to Tavo, who once again is playing this Omnina that isn't really contested way too hard or contested at all.
No, he's getting very good farm down here, Tavo, once again.
One good thing for VP this time, however, versus the Omni Knight is the fact that they do have the Shadow Demon, and you do have that Purge from your ultimate. So from the Demonic Purge, you're going to be able to deal with Tavo. There we go.
Tavo's got the stick charges, still has that regen and extra strength from the Heavenly Grace, so we'll be able to walk up. back to the tier on tower purification as well to keep him safe. Make sure those 3 stacks of poison don't push him over the edge.
And they get that first catapult. They're gonna probably try and pressure this lane even harder with it now.
Pull has been made to the side, but Misery and Tavo should still be able to have a good look in at the amount of farm from it. Just every single time, you know, Tavo, he continues to just trade hits very, very nicely with the safe lane brew.
It's so hard to trade with an Omni-Knight, right? He just trades with you, uses purification, heals up, and you're the one that has to back out 9 out of 10 times.
Well, he's going to TP over to that top shrine, Ramses, and by the looks of it, start to make an appearance in that top lane. He's very close to hitting level 6 and having the primal split. Now, ideally, at that point, they can look to try and make a dive under the tower, look to abuse this very strong point of the game for the Brew, where the Gyro is just so weak in lane, as indeed just collapsing underneath the tower. Not a lot of hope for HFN's Gyro here.
Okay. Can they catch King Ardi as well? This is... Alright, he should fall here. This is so well played by Virtus.pro because you said it yourself. They're gonna wait for level 6 with Ramses and then rotate up to take that. But if you do it like this, when he's level 5, it's much better because it's unexpected,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And they are gonna expect a rotation from a level 6 Panda. From a level 5 Panda, not so much. So overall, very well played by VP. However, they're gonna lose this tier 1 on bottom lane.
Yeah. Misery able to bring Weeha in. The Diabolic Edict making quick work of the tower. Does open up that mid lane more for no one to...
That mid lane was already open for no one. It was completely fine. And you know what? If you want to take that Diabolic Edict and take my towers, I'm going to do the same.
Yes, I mean, look at that.
Look at this. Yeah.
Look at the speed that no one just takes that tower in return. Oh, homing missile from HFN gets the kill. Mid lane. No one's going to start getting beat active onto Weeha. Does manage to land the stun too. Punching into him, Weeha. He's going to miss his own stun. As Weeha's in a fair bit of trouble. He's got some bottle charges. He's trying to keep himself hidden in the trees so no one can't get any more hits off him.
I think he backs out now. That's it. He has no mana to work with, actually. Well, with the sticks he has enough to wave for him out. Should be fine.
But still such a close start. 8 minutes in, just 4 for 3 and less than a 1k difference between these two teams. Top lane. I mean, I think some of the most impressive thing so far for me has been that HFN's Gyro, he's still at the top of the farm this game. And this is a hero that can absolutely just get knocked over in the laning stage, and he has not been. Especially in a lane against this bat, and with a disruptor, you know, not really the best sort of defensive lane support, but King Ardi's played it really nicely with the kinetic fields. Exactly. Every time just stopping these Firefly plays, getting those kills onto HFN.
They just played it so well, and with that first kill on the Batrider, he definitely did get the magic wand very early, which did help versus the Batrider, obviously, and they just didn't manage to pressure him enough, which is surprising. However, at the same time, we'll see how much that Gyro is going to be able to do through the mid game, because it's not your Ursa from the last game whatsoever. It's not one of those cores that just scales incredibly well after the laning stage. Gyro used to be that. I'm just not sold on the whole idea. We'll see how it pans out though, as he is building into a complete early game domination item build, right? He has that.
Phase drums.
Phase drums, 2 raid bands. He's basically in the fight me mode.
And that's, I mean, it's certainly not a bad way to do it if you're Chaos, as that has been what they've excelled at in all of the games. Sort of building up towards that 15-minute mark where you'll start to see them make moves as a 5-man.
Oh, the Doom is there. He does have Heavenly Grace on him.
He does, so the Doom isn't going to last too long at all.
Yeah.
In fact, it's gone already. Bam. Who cares? Tava doesn't.
Nothing happened. He just shook it off, actually.
Yeah.
And now Solo.
Have a glimpse. So it's just that level 1, yeah, he's not going to be able to get close enough, so Solo is able to walk out.
I see Disruptors tend to skill Thunderstrike now a little bit more into level 2 and 3. Sometimes in the laning stage it can definitely help, but overall that glimpse is just so valuable.
Actually, mid, Ramses does get poked upon, but of course he has the primal split ready to go, so immediately pops it, turns towards Weeha. Weeha trying to get himself up to the safety of the high ground. Ramses will continue to chase. One more rock throw should do it, but Weeha is speedy enough to get back underneath the tier 2 tower. He'll get himself back to safety.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Not really well played by VP. I think they had him there.
Yeah, surprised that they didn't have any further catch for the Lestrak. That's Primal Split used.
Yeah, but because of that Primal Split usage, you expect them to get a kill, you expect that they know what's gonna happen. But yeah, Lesh just walks away.
I'm talking about walking away, walking into chaos here as we are Misery there waiting for Solo. Run forward from Tavo. And
disappears.
I mean, we're just seeing it get VP. They're struggling with this Omni Knight. They don't know how to deal with Tavo. He's just walking around with the Purification and a Heavenly Grace. He's such a hard kill. You can't do anything about this Omni. You can't even push him out of his lane.
And it is a hero that we were just waiting to pop up back into the meta, right? I think it was Fog that mentioned first. He said, I'm just waiting to see the first team that manages to lane him. After that, the hero is going to be picked all the time. And he was right. Chaos, they are the first one to start using him again, and to great success so far, at least. Well, Batrider is getting closer to his death.
And the trap is set here on the high ground. Misery waits for Roger to step up with the damage output as well from the Thunder Strikes. There'll be a kill for them down and by the tier 2 tower. In fact, Weehar's diving into defensive disruption. Will keep Solo safe as he is able to walk out. And Weehar a little divey there.
A little bit
underneath
eager,
that tier 2 on his own. I mean, sure, the team was in the jungle, but they weren't really by his side. So
he got carried away.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
He really did.
They're stomping them 2 games in a row right now in the laning stage. So he's like, all right, I got this, but have to be a little bit careful. You don't want to let them get these easy kills, especially on Wii. He is a mid hero, so. Overall, in the last game we had the Rubik versus the Omni Knight. This game around we have the Morphling, so you can turn into the Omni Knight as well in these fights. You can steal that Heavenly Grace for yourself, which is quite neat.
I definitely, yeah, absolutely, it absolutely is. We'll see, you know, as we said, Tavo.
Just pops that Heavenly Grace and see you later, boys.
It's, yeah, because VP, they had 3 heroes down here, but it's just so hard to make a move on the Omni Knight. And this is giving a lot of spaces to say to HFN. He's still up there, keeping on level with farm of that Morphling.
So this is the only issue that I see with the Gyro. Usually when you are playing that Gyro, you want to be ahead. You don't want to be on the same net worth as Morphling or behind him. You want to be ahead, so even though he is doing fine, he's on top of the networks, he's not doing great for a gyrocopter, which is a little bit scary, but considering what his lane was, this is great.
And we'll see what he goes. He has the Mithril Hammer queued up. Whether that's going to be defensive in the BKB or, of course, could also be the Maelstrom build.
Maelstrom kind of allows him to farm a bit faster, to scale a bit better, but at the same time, BKB is going to allow them to fight much earlier, and I think Chaos. Oh, the Doom is there. No Heavenly Grace this time around,
not
but
this
there is
time.
Glimpse.
They will be able to pull Pasha away from the Omni Knight as Tower will continue to back off. They'll go in with the lasso, but look who's made a rotation, HFN. He comes in with the cooldown. Ramses will put the Primal Split, throwing the Gyro up into the air as Chaos, they've lost the Disruptor. They do manage to burst down Solo with the Purification. HFN still alive and good to go. The Heavenly Grace buffing him up. In fact, they're just killing off the Split. Ramses, he's got to get out of there. Get the Wind Panda up to the high ground.
Yeah, you basically use Doom and you use Split to only kill off a Disruptor. That's not great. And now with this Atos online,
they can chase for more. They get the stun lock down onto the Batrider. They'll move straight forward. Ramses is going to take a homing missile to the face as he's trying to hide in the trees. They've got themselves on top of the brew. Ramses will fall. Now no one trying to turn things around. He turns into the Gyro. He has those flak hits. This is the power of the Morph, but there's the answer. Guardian Angel comes out from Tavo, protecting them against the physical damage. And now they can look to try and turn back in towards Passion. Tavo's getting stun locked at the front. Tavo will fall. Roger's still alive. Zip forward for no one. They found the kill onto HFN. Weeha is out of mana. VP. They're hitting back hard as Weeha. He'll try and juke this one off, but they'll hunt him down as Weeha falls as well. VP taking control there at the fight on that bottom lane as we are starting to see a glimpse of the potential of the Morphling in this game, turning into the Gyro as such. It's such a potent play and something that can be answered by the GA, as we saw there for a little bit, but it wasn't enough to keep the fight in a good place for Chaos.
I think that you hit the nail on the head. I think the problem for Chaos is they thought that GA is going to allow them to continue fighting. If they use that GA as a way of just getting out, that would be perfect for them. They want to fight, they forced some ultis out. They didn't really give away way too much besides that Disruptor. it would have been perfect, but they kind of thought, all right, maybe we can take this fight again. They go in without mana on Lash. He can't really do a lot without mana, obviously, and they just feed away a few crucial kills, actually. The Gyro and the Lash both fall, so not great, but they do have this ward on no one. He has to be careful. There is Glimpse level 3 and ulti from Disruptor.
I mean, you see, Chaos, they're not to be deterred. They are still going for this move, you know, operating as the full team at this 60-minute mark, just taking these objectives. They will manage to find the tier 2 in the mid lane without too much of an answer from VP. VP do have those teamfight ults back on, though. They have the split, they have the Doom.
You have the Gyro, the Leshrac with Edict, the Catapults, and the Omni Knights just standing behind them. If anyone initiates on either one of these two heroes, he's just gonna graze them and heal them up. So you have to find a way. If you are VP, you have to find a way of actually in starting these fights. And do you even want to start these fights? You have a Morphling, you want to be farming some more.
And a big item picked up there for the Doom, as he has got the Pipe of Insight. This is for Pasha, of course, going to help his team out so much against the Gyro's damage output at this point of the game.
Also, Ramses is going straight into that Radiance, so that item might help them out a little bit.
That's not a bad timing at all on the Relic.
He must not die in the next couple of minutes, though. He needs to buy it before Chaos goes for Rosh, I believe, as they have itemized properly for Rosh, and I think it's the Chen that bought Medallion. Let's see. Yeah, he does have Boots Medallion, so that's going to allow them to take Rosh after all these towers too. VP could be in a really good spot to defend that Rosh if they finish the Radiance on the Panda.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. For Chaos, they have to keep their foot on the pedal. They cannot slow down this game.
Yeah, if they lose one fight, it's going to be...
It's such a tough game for them, though. Because of this Morphling down the line is just going to be so disruptive against their team. Once he has the BKB, going for the Dragonlance BKB, no one's basically saying, I want to be the Gyrocopter. He goes into the fight, pops the BKB, steals the flak, then Chaos, they have to get out of there. Sure, with the GA, they might live for a little bit, but if they don't have the GA, they're going to die every time to that combo.
You can see that HFN is turning that Mithril Hammer into a BKB.
Yeah.
It's very Chaos item progression, right? It's how they like to be building. It's the same like in that last game with Ursa, which when he went drums into BKB, or into Basher afterwards. No Midas, no nonsense like that. We want to put the aggression at all the times.
Oh, for sure. Because this is a BKB to end the game with. This isn't a, let's get a BKB and then I'll farm my next item. This is Chaos knowing that they have to go pretty damn soon.
And the Radiance, I believe, is completed now. It's flying out to Ramses. Right now, they have the DD on Morphling, and it seems like they're going to be taking this Rosh. Now, I'm not certain if they really, truly want to take Rosh instantly, or if they want to bait Chaos into fighting them around it. Because they know that Chaos knows about this. They haven't rewarded anything, so they should be aware. And the Catapult running in.
Can Chaos start this fight? Can they initiate the Heavenly Grace onto Weeha, allowing him to go forward, but the Primal Split's already off from Ramsey. Now Chaos, they've got to be careful. Static Storm's going to be popped down. They've got the GA, they're trying to look towards Pasha, but Pasha gets the Doom down onto HFN. They go for the Firefly as well, but the Glimpse will rip the Batrider away from the Gyro. They're still trying to retreat, though, keep HFN alive, but VP, they're in and on top of them. HFN dies, double kill for no one. Again, the flag! This is the power of the Morph against the Gyro. Pasha, he's off the team, stole the Rampage, but there we have it from this Morphling. You can see the smile on Pasha, you can see the rolling of the eyes there from no one. He ain't happy.
How dare you?
Watch out, Pasha. You don't want to tilt your mid.
Yeah, this is it. This is basically it. Chaos. They got baited a little bit. Honestly, you go you go into that fight, into the Rosh fight. I mean, VP is one of those teams that also set up fights around Rosh so well. You could see Doom just charging straight into them, man, just ignoring everything else. Also, Weez, he does have Heavenly's Grace, but he's way too far, and then he gets purged. He just dies instantly afterwards. It's not really easy for him to do a whole lot. He has to get out completely.
Oh, yeah. And then the Heavenly Grace wears out, and then here's the flak. Bam, bam, bam. Look at this damage this Morphling does. I believe he still had the DD rune going. So you're choosing to fight around this pit. There's a Morph with a DD. You have a Gyrocopter. 1 + 1 = 2. Bada bing, bada boom. You've lost the fight.
Yeah, I think they warded after that double damage, so they weren't. I mean, they said actually they sent the catapult in, so
they saw it.
The Carty saw the double damage. It's their fault. They saw the DD.
You have to you've got to get on top of this Morph. I don't know how you do that with Chaos's lineup. They have to just run in a Static Storm, but that doesn't matter. He's got a BKB. No one has just itemized perfectly. It's just so hard for them to do anything about it. At this point, Chaos, they sort of just have to push lanes and hope that no one is is not looking, but he is, and he comes in, and again the flag.
Oh, look at the...
You just got to run. This time it's just a bit of a threat, you know, just sort of pushing Chaos away. And Chaos, they do get the tower, so they get that objective.
They
but it's
did
still
get
so
the tier
scary.
2, but yeah, they have to just back out, and this is very problematic for them. They're in a really rough spot right now in this game. If you know how these heroes work, the Morphling versus the Gyro, the Morphling versus the Lash, you have to understand that right now, at this point, Chaos, they just have to make some magical moves in order to win the next couple of fights.
I mean...
They need to somehow isolate the Doom, perhaps, or the Panda, kill them off before they split. Perhaps use that Disruptor's ulti somehow on the Brew before he splits and take out these other targets.
Uh-oh.
It's VP that's on the aggressive, though.
King RD will pop down the Static Storm.
And that's not great for you. You pop that Static Storm, it's out for 90 seconds. That's basically VP, do whatever you want to us right now. We just wasted our biggest spell.
It is looking scary for Chaos now, it really is. You know, with the lineup, with this Morph pick, it really was a strong pick. You know, as I say, you can look back at when Gyro has played in the past. It's got to be one of the heroes that is banned the most whenever teams were playing Gyro. They would always ban that Morphling.
Oh, absolutely. You never wanted to play versus
it was almost, it was like, it was just an insta loss if you let the Morphling through against the Gyro.
It didn't even matter what build he goes for. If he turns into you and goes for Flak Cannon with BKB, or if he goes for E-Blade even, he just blows you up as you're usually that very squishy core as a Gyro. So overall, not banning that Morphling and taking Gyro is...
It was a ballsy move, and it's hurting them. You can feel it now.
It looked all right, but that one fight in which VP hit their timings, got the Radiance off on the Panda, got the BKB off on the Morphling, they just turned everything around.
Well, that's it. As we say, we've seen some very impressive things from Chaos so far here in the playoffs. They've had these 2 games where they've just steamrolled to victory. Game 1 here against VP, and of course in the best of 1 against Liquid. But now they're in a very different position. They've tried to get that action going. They've managed to sort of begin setting out their plan as they've taken all of the tier 1s and the tier 2 towers, but now they're at a point where they are behind, and VP, they do have this draft that works excellently against them. So Chaos, they've got to do some next level stuff now. This is where they're going to be pushed to the test. So
right now for Chaos, I believe one of your plans on how to fight these team fights might be bait out that Doom, get out with Heavenly's Grace and heals from the Omni Knight, and then perhaps re-engage. That could be one of the ways, at least make them waste that Doom. For the Batrider Lasso, you also have the Glimpse, so you can glimpse the Bat away. You need to force them in some sort of a bad engagement in which they have either wasted one of their big ultimates or something like a BKB on Morph. If you bash heads, 5-on-5, I think you can't.
I just don't see how they kill the Morphling unless no one makes a massive mistake. With the BKB, and not just the BKB, the fact that you have a Shadow.
It's Dotes, it happens, right?
Solo's going to be able to save him. So it's almost going to be, for Chaos to win a team fight, they have to hope that no one messes up and Solo messes up. Because if both of them don't mess up, this Morphling will not die.
Yeah, we did see Solo last game run into 5-man.
Hey, maybe he'll do it again. Yeah.
Maybe he does it again. You hope for the best and you play.
And now VP, the ones to be able to get up to the high ground, do some damage to the tier 3s. They do get the glimpse back onto Ramsey, see if they can get the stun timing. They do. Can they actually kill him in time, though? He's got the pipe buff given out from Pasha, so he's more than fine. Primal Split pop, they're moving, chasing down Weeheart. Already Pasha's on the backline with the Doom down to HFN as VP. They're just pushing Chaos all the way back to the fountain. The Gyro's not even going to get back safely as HFN dies. He will bite back, but it's 3 dying on Chaos. Tavo's got that Heavenly Grace as VP will back off and look towards the tier 3 tower. Rockets out onto Solo. Tavo trying to move in. HFN pops the BKB, but no one zips straight forward looking for that disruptor. Won't quite be able to finish him off. King RD is able to get back into the fountain. The BKB for HFN going to wear off as now VP they get out. The BKBs and the TPs are used. They'll back away.
They're completely fine with that.
They're chill. 2 buybacks are forced out, and VP they only lost the disruptor. Sorry, the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, most importantly, you forced out that buyback on the Gyrocopter hero. Gyrocopter is also the one that didn't go for that Maelstrom early on, so he's not going to farm very well. He's not going to farm and recover very fast from that buyback. You're completely fine with that. You still have the Aegis. You go back, you finish out that Manta on the Morphling, and then you go straight back in. And you could see you could see that Ramses was baiting them a little bit there. They tried to kill off the Panda, they failed, and instantly there's a Doom in the back dooming the...
It's like, so hang on, how did the Doom get back here?
Exactly.
They didn't even see it, just was able to walk past the Panda and get in. Yeah, as you say, I mean, it's understandable. They wanted to do everything to get rid of Ramses, but it's hard. It's very hard now.
That's it. They were hoping that that's their chance, right? It's what these big teams do. They bait you. They make you feel that you're gonna have a good team fight. They force you into a bad position. They bait you out, and then they finish you off.
That's a DD rune down bottom. We'll see. Chaos are able to do anything with that. The money nearly being there for HFN to have the Maelstrom done. He'll sell the Wraith Band, and that pretty much will do the money required for his Maelstrom. They've got to try and find pickoffs. They've got to try and tackle VP when they're not as a full 5-man. And they've got to try and do it somewhere where no one is a million miles away. Because if this morphs about, no one's going to shut Chaos down.
Yeah, and you can see the solo always in between two cores. So that if it so happens that Chaos initiates on either one of these, he has that disruption right there, ready and available to save them. Aegis has been reclaimed though, which might give a shot to Chaos. They might be able to fight this.
I see we are top trying to push this way back. He's going to show he has to TP immediately though, as they will of course react to that, showing in the lane.
Oh, Roger found him.
He's been found. Weehaw takes a poke, trying to keep that wave pushed out. But VP, well, they were prepared for that one. They knew that he'd show, and they make him pay for it.
Yeah, you could see the disappointment.
I mean, you see this, like, no one, he's just walking in against the three of them. He does not feel threatened whatsoever. He's got a BKB, he's got Solo behind him. That's all he needs.
He's absolutely fine. They're 100 gold away from Manta too. After that is completed, you can't even silence him or anything any longer. At the same time, Misery does fall to Ramses.
Yeah, sort of a similar situation to Weehaw, trying to push these side lanes out, but
can't blame them though. Yeah, at this point, pushing out those side lanes is very important. As if you aren't doing that, you're basically stuck in your high ground and you can't leave it. So, trying to create some space for his teammates didn't work out for him though, as this tower is most certainly gonna fall to no one.
With the homing missile on him, but yeah, there you have it, as you say, Manta style on the CORSAIr, and now out to him, Vanguard picked up by Pasha. VP just continuing to beef up it.
I mean, if VP wants to, this is basically shrines and just wait for next Aegis. That's the safest play. I'm not certain if they want to wait that long though.
They don't really need to. I mean, no one doesn't need that second life.
You can see the Radiant Wards, they're basically covering the whole dire jungle, and if you want to even approach that Roshan, you have to smoke up. But you can't smoke up unless your side lanes are pushed out. And every time you try to outpush the side lanes, you get killed, you get caught. So
you can't leave the base.
Yeah, strategically they're in a very rough spot. It's very difficult to get out of this situation that they are in right now.
I mean, I wonder if we can have a quick cheeky look at the win probability, because this one feels like, yeah, Gaben knows. It's a 92%.
It's not 98 like in that last game, but it's close enough.
I feel he's been a bit generous as well, giving Chaos the 8% here, because this Morphling against the Jara, VP's draft almost plays itself now at this point. Like, you're ahead. You have all the answers to Chaos's heroes, and yeah, you know, Chaos, they tried something sweet. They tried the Gyro. There was no hesitation from VP. They knew exactly how to respond with the Morphling, and at this stage, it just makes the game seem impossible for Chaos to play.
That disruption is just ridiculously short versus the Omni Knight.
Mid lane, talking about the Gyro. HFN gets caught out, and buying into the Maelstrom, he has no buyback.
This is it. They're pushing high ground. This is at least two sides, if not even game.
Yeah. No, this is just the VP level of play that you expect to see, and you know, as I say, sure, VP did play great, but it really was the ending of the draft that just made this game pretty simple for VP.
Most certainly, the Chaos boys, they just played so well in the early stages. They brought the same aggression that they brought in the last few games.
I see down bottom, they are trying for a bit of the wrap, as they will claim at least a tier 3 tower here, Chaos.
Yeah, but they're losing racks.
They are losing racks.
And Lasso is there, is it?
And they're going to lose some heroes here as well. Weehaw slammed down by the Infernal Blade. Weehaw is going to die. Misery as well will fall. They're losing a second set of racks. I mean, we'll see how long Chaos want to hold on in this one. But this game is...
He bought back, all right. So they're losing 2 sides. Lesh has bought back. Gyro is up in 15 seconds, so maybe they won't give up just yet. But they're in such a rough position, honestly.
As no one just zips in, pops the BKB.
He did pop the BKB, so he's going to have to port out.
Yep.
All right. I
mean,
mean,
there really is no rush for VP at this point.
Definitely no rush, but Gyro is alive now, and perhaps you can take a proper fight as Chaos. They weren't able to take a proper fight that last time, as Gyro got caught by that lasso before anything even started. Pasha now has the blink, he's out.
Yeah,
Very well played.
A bit off with that, as you say. No hesitation with the blink reaction.
Yeah, you can see Misery preparing for this rush fight. He knows what's going to happen next. They're going to smoke up, apparently.
This is pretty much the go big or go home smoke here from Chaos for this second game of the series.
If they manage to get some big pick off, perhaps they can threaten to push aside or go into the pit, but it is just so difficult at the moment. There is no BKB on no one, perhaps that's the plan, but he was just waiting on high ground. Oh,
do get the stun. Static Storm as well, but do they have the damage to kill him? There'll be a defensive disruption coming out. They are on top and they put the BKBs, but no, he's still alive. Flat Cannon is taken and used, and there it is. GG is called. And Chaos, they definitely learned a bit of a lesson here in this game too. One, that picking the Gyro is going to be a risk, and two, picking the Gyro when Morphling's in the pool is pretty much going to be a guaranteed loss.
Honestly, I have 2 ex-teammates on the side of VP, but I'm completely in love with Chaos right now. And the way they play, and this last smoke, like fighting it until the bitter end.
I mean,
just trying to go for that Morphling because they know he has no BKB, trying to kill him and perhaps take a rush or a good fight.
The 1% chance.
The 1%, but they're still playing. They're still going for it. They're not GGing out. And honestly, because of that, mad respects to SA.
And we'll see what they can do in the game 3. So of course now it stands 1-for-1 between VP and Chaos. As I say, it's the draft this game that really shot sort of Chaos in their own foot. They're gonna know that. Looking back at that game, they're gonna be like, okay, we messed up at the end of this. And from what we saw in game 1, we know that Chaos can step it up to another level. But VP, this is at least for them, is gonna instill some confidence back into this lineup of very scary players. They just won this game. That it was relatively easy this game 2. Game 3, it's all going to kick off.
I think they just need to find a better hero for HFN, honestly. Yeah. Gyro, especially when Morphling is in the pool, is not a hero, not in this patch. Just find something else, something like that Ursa that works so well for them.
We'll see. Yeah, as you said, because interesting in this game, they actually banned out the Ursa themselves, so...
Why, though?
Maybe they meant to missed it. We'll see. We'll find out. But there we have it. Second game of the series. 1-1 now between VP and Chaos. 1 game standing between both teams and themselves, continuing or going home. Which way is it going to go? We'll find out very shortly. Don't go anywhere.